This is an Electrum Sabercrafts 1-inch heavy dueling blade, and it's really kind of a bread and butter standard, dueling grade blade, heavy grade blade, thick-walled blade, whatever you'd like to call it. So let's take a bit of a closer look. But the first thing I should say is this hilt. This is not an Electrum Sabercrafts hilt. This is a Crosspoint Sabers lightsaber hilt. So this is sort of a custom hilt by a different company, but it does show you the compatibility. So this is a 1-inch diameter blade that's made by Electrum Sabercrafts and, made for Electrum Sabercrafts hilts, but it does have compatibility with other custom saber companies. So, any custom saber company that takes a 1-inch diameter blade, this blade should work well for you there. Although, occasionally, sometimes with blades, there's a little bit of a minor kind of diameter difference, and in some cases you may need to sand down the blade a little bit. But at any rate, this blade works really well with this hilt without any modification. So that's my experience there anyway. Now, you can see the coring effect on this blade right away maybe. Now I have a pink in-hilt LED, or sort of maybe darker pink, and you see that there's kind of the blade color in the middle, and then on the outside there's a little bit of a different darker color, so that's the coring effect. Now on camera it actually looks a little bit more white here, to you, or to me if I'm watching the video also, but in real life it's a little bit more uniformly pink, although the kind of border of the blade does still stand out quite a bit. So that's just kind of due to the style of the blade diffusion film. And this is a dual diffused blade, so it's got kind of the 2 layers of diffusion film in there to help you more evenly kind of spread out the light really in the blade, or let the light more evenly distribute across the blade. And it does have a rounded tip at the top, so that's what you're looking for in a lot of cases if you're going to be dueling with a lightsaber. So these rounded or these dome tips are kind of safer, and in some cases are required for lightsaber dueling, just because the kind of pointier tips, the pointed tips, or the kind of bullet style lightsaber blade tips, some people really like the appearance of that, but they're pointier and they're a little bit more dangerous if you're doing some actual lightsaber dueling with them. So anyway, it's got that nice dome tip at the top. But overall it's a pretty standard kind of heavy grade blade, and so it should work pretty well for your purposes with dueling. But let's kind of take a look at the blade by itself. So here you can see it's just very standard thick-walled blade here. Just for comparison's sake, I'll show you a thin-walled blade. So this is kind of a thin-walled or mid-grade blade from a different company, and this is the thick-walled blade, the Electrum Sabercrafts 1-inch heavy dueling blade. But there's the diffusion film on the inside, and it's not glued or anything in there, so you could change it out, do something else with it if you wanted to. But other than that, it has this sort of foily kind of looking blade film to it, and that's really how you get that coring effect when it's attached to the blade. So there's the coring effect again with the center right there, and then the kind of outer edge of the blade. So, well, I'll keep that on. But Electrum Sabercrafts offers their blades in a few different lengths. So they have 32 inches kind of their standard length, and then they also offer 28, which they call Shoto, and then they do offer 36 inches, 36-inch blades, which they call long, and those blades do have a little bit of a premium price to it. It's like a few bucks extra. But Electrum Sabercrafts does also offer a thin-walled blade, if it's more of a priority for you to have a little bit more brightness, and you're not intending to do as heavy dueling really as much with the lightsaber blade, then that may be suitable for your purposes. But this one right here, this is the heavy dueling blade, and it's by Electrum Sabercrafts, and it's it's really just sort of like a solid standard heavy grade blade. So here it is, you guys. Feel free to comment below.